Hiei stood alone on the top of the tallest building in the city. Using the Jagan Eye, he roved until he eventually found where Yuskue was seated. He was at his school, along with that blue-haired woman from Spirit World. For Hiei, he was disgusted with how his other two partners had behaved. Gyoki, losing the Orb of Bast because he was too satiated on his own hunger. And then for Kurama, who had betrayed them and their kind, and everything that they stood for sentiment. By the time he had opened his other eyes, he was not alone. The older man from before, finishing off a cigarette as Hiei turned ready to strike him down. So, you finally got your hands on the Shadow Sword, and this is what you choose to do with your time? Brooding on top of tall buildings in the shadows, spying on people like a creep? Geesh. The last thing I need is to be lectured by the likes of you. Aw, what's the matter? Never had an adult figure in your life to tell you right from wrong? That's funny, coming from the likes of a human. I know just how awful you can be. Yeah, your hatred for humanity, all that jazz. Why the hell are you even here? Could say that I'm just bored. Wanted to see how things were getting along. You know, if you were truly worth your weight in anything, you would have already enacted your plan long ago. Hell, you've held on to that sword for a little over 5 days, and you haven't accomplished anything really. A plan takes time. A plan takes strategy. I won't be underestimated or defeated like Kurama and Gyoki were. And then there's you. Do you really think that this changes anything? Once I've taken care of that detective, you're who I'm going to come for. I'll get my hands on the Orb of Bast and the Forlorn Hope. Once they're all at my disposal, I'll be ready to rule this world. And I'll make sure to put your head on a spike. You really think so, kid? I know so! He attempted to lop his head off, only for the old man to dodge with ease, much to Hiei's annoyance and surprise. Who are you really, Mr. Gambler, if that's even your real name? What am I saying? I know it's not. What? We can't all have secrets now? I mean, it's not like this is a club or anything. You're not my therapist, so I don't really see the point in sharing. So why the hell are you here? I don't know. Perhaps I'm just bored. Perhaps I just wanted to see what you'd actually do. Perhaps I was wrong for expecting too much. In the end, for someone with a big-ass forehead and a big-ass third eye, you still can't see what's right in front of you. You're still blinded to the truth, Hiei. There is no truth. There is only the world and what I choose to make of it. I promise you this, Gambler. Once I'm done with the spirit detective, you're next. Hiei, my man, you are a big fish in a small pond. There are beings in this world with power that you can't even comprehend. If you really think your ambitions will carry you far, then go on. I want to see what you can do. Hiei would simply smirk as he disappeared. The gambler, taking out another pack, starting another cigarette. In the end, none of it really matters. But as long as I can bring her back, then I'll play around with you guys just a little bit more. Alright then. 2 down, only 1 to go. Let's see what you're capable of, Urameshi. That evening, Keiko would be walking home from school. She was a little less than thrilled to see that Yuskue had made a new friend. He had already come back to life, and yet he was still the same old Yuskue. Irresponsible, a jerk, lazy, unmotivated. He didn't even bother to do his own book report. He had the audacity to ask if she could do his homework. He had always been like that, ever since they were kids. So why did it bother her so much? Seeing him with someone else, saying it wasn't what it looks like. Well, he must have obviously have known. The way that Yuskue always behaved, it was always something that ticked her off. It was like he went out of his way to be confrontational with the teachers, as if he tried his damnedest to get expelled at every opportunity. Sure, there were some kids that didn't understand them, and some teachers that took things way too far, like the one that stole all those items and tried to blame him. She still had never forgiven him for that. Yuskue was a lot of things. Delinquent, sure. Trouble at home, absolutely. Worst of the worst, there could be no question, but still, the boy had a heart. He risked his life to save someone else. No one who could do something like that could really be evil. She'd never seen that in Yuskue. Sure, it was an old cliche, a diamond in the rough, that he could be molded into something that could shine brighter than anything else she'd ever imagined. And yet, even when the world told her not to, she continued to have faith in him. How could she not? As she walked, she passed by a young man dressed in black, who stopped her on her path. Yuskue, you're such a jerk. I wouldn't go that far, Hiei said. Actually, he's quite fond of you, and that works in my favor. Where was Yuskue, you might be wondering? Well, he was in the teacher's office once again, having to be chewed out for not doing his homework, a song and dance he had heard 1,000 times over. Although when Botan gave him the call, he knew he had to get out of there. Immediately, both Botan and Yuskue raced out of the school, the ring beginning to give off a beeping noise, signaling that a demon was nearby. It's most likely Hiei, isn't it? Yes. He actually sent a message telepathically. It's Keiko. He's got her. What? That bastard! And not just that. He wants us to bring the other 2 artifacts in exchange for Keiko. They arrived as the sun was beginning to set over the docks. As they made their way to one of the warehouses, there stood an army of dazed humans, their eyes glossed over with a dark aura. They weren't in their right state of mind. What happened to them? It's nice to see that you finally made it, Detective. And here I thought you were going to keep me waiting. Hiei, where's Keiko? Oh, she's perfectly all right. She's right here. 2 of the possessed humans were holding her. Before we have our touching reunion, I'm going to be needing those 2 artifacts now. Without hesitating, Yuskue handed them over. Hiei caught them, surprised at how easy all of this was. The Orb of Bast and the Forlorn Hope, now in my possession. Seriously, Detective, you're making this way too easy. I thought we were going to have a long, drawn-out fight. Here I thought that you were actually worth your merit. I thought that you might actually stand a chance. But no. You only prove my point about you humans. Just how weak and fragile you are. Your pointless relationships. You put the world at risk. Why? All for some stupid girl. There are millions, if not billions, just like her crawling on this dirt ball of a planet, and yet you risk all of it just for her sake. How touching. You really don't know when to shut up, do you, Hiei? Oh, I'm just getting started. Take a closer look at her. On the middle of her forehead, an eye would begin to grow. Botan recognized what it was immediately as she activated her own power to suppress the eye from growing. Botan, what's going on with Keiko? The effects of the Shadow Blade. She is now starting to come under my possession. When her eye awakens, she will be reverted to the lowest class of demon. Unfortunately, it means she won't have any brains. Though then again, if she chose to be your friend, I doubt she ever had any to begin with. And you can struggle all you want, assistant, Hiei said to Botan. But you won't have much power left. Soon, you'll all be tapped out. And you'll be useless also. Yuskue saw the strain that it was putting on Botan. The sparks of energy cutting at her body. In this human form, she was reduced in strength, and she used what little she had to protect Keiko. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Just deal with Hiei. I can hold this off. Botan, don't push yourself. I'll be fine. Just go. All right, bastard. You wanted my attention. Well, now you've got it. Your attention. You think that's why I do all of this? You have a high opinion of yourself, detective. Yeah, and you don't. Putting up an elaborate ruse like this? If you wanted to fight, all you had to do was ask. Immediately, before Hiei knew what hit him, Yuskue had closed the distance and punched him directly in the face. That one is for Keiko. And this is for pissing me off! An uppercut sent Hiei flying. What the? He didn't display this level of power before. Was he just holding back? No matter. Fine. If you want to get serious, let's get serious. Hiei would begin to amplify his strength as he began to strike with the blade. Now, Yuskue would respond. The glowing emerald ring around his finger as he began to emit one of his constructs. Immediately, he created a giant teddy bear of all things. What? Do you think this is some sort of game? Ugh! No, I just watched a lot of cartoons. We call this the bear hug. The constructed teddy bear was wrapping itself around Hiei, causing him to squirm and wriggle out in pain. Oh, and not just that, I also watch a lot of pro wrestling. So, this is what we call a German suplex. Immediately, Hiei found himself being suplexed by the teddy bear. He was being ringed around over and over and over again. You, no good, son of a, Man, I'm having a lot of fun with this. Enough! Hiei would kick away at the construct before he closed the distance between himself and Yuskue. Before Yuskue knew what hit him, Hiei would respond with a barrage of sword slashes. Yuskue would create multiple shields to try to protect himself, before long having his legs kicked out from under him, and then Hiei slamming his leg on his chest. And this is for good measure. Oh! Yuskue caught a right hook to the jaw. He almost felt like it had been completely lodged out of its socket. Hiei would raise the shadow sword as he struck it right in Yusuke's left arm, stabbing it into the ground. With his right foot, he stomped on Yusuke's hand. Ah! Yuskue! Botan would yell, continuing her own struggle to keep the curse from affecting Keiko. Ah! Ah! What was that? I don't think I hear you! Ah! You can't make anything with this hand if you can't use it. That big brain of yours can't think of anything to build when you're in so much pain. Huh? Let's see how many fingers I can break. When I get out of here, you're gonna what? What? Just what in the hell are you gonna do to me, detective? No, you don't get to make the rules here. I do. And now that you've been struck with this blade, you'll have no way to resist me. Huh? How about that? You were the best that Spirit World could send? Well, now you're gonna be under my control. And you know what? I think I'll take that little trinket for myself while I'm at it. I don't think so. The moment Hiei tried to remove the ring from around Yusuke's finger, a blast of energy would shoot off of him, sending him back. Hiei made sure to grab the blade right before he was sent flying. No matter. He had to kill him first, that was all. Right now, he only had one good arm, and he had already been pierced by the sword. Not just cut, he'd have to turn into a low-level demon. But he didn't change. It had no effect. What? What's going on? I stabbed you with this shadow blade. You should be under my control. Oh, really? That's what you think? Well, I sure would hate to disappoint you. Immediately, Yusuke would begin to levitate off the ground. His one fist raised up. The fist that had been stomped on repeatedly, bearing forth the power of the Starheart Ring. This thing gives me immunity to power like that. As long as I wear it, you have no chance of taking me over. But even if I didn't, you really think I'd ever give you control? So that's how it's going to be then. Hiei would rip off his shirt. As his body would begin to grow and expand, his skin turning into a dark shade of green as multiple eyes began to grow all on his body. From a distance, Kurama could feel that shift in power. He must truly be desperate if he's taken on that form. So, detective, I hope you consider yourself blessed. You get to see me in all of my power. I must admit, the fact that I've even been pushed to this extent, it truly pisses me off. So I have to crush you, destroy you utterly, until nothing remains. If that's how it must be, then I am okay with this. I'll take great pleasure in snapping every bone in your body. Then I'll force you to watch. I'll force you to beg me to stop for what I'll do to your friends. But don't worry, you'll be joining them soon enough. Immediately, the transformed Hiei would lunge towards Yusuke. Yusuke would create a brick wall that he smashed right through. Yusuke, using the opportunity, would fly into the sky of the warehouse, but with a ceiling, he had to burst through it, the only way that he could close the distance, to try to create space and replan his attack. Hiei would follow on the outside. Using his speed and strength, he was able to hover into the air effortlessly. With the shadow blade, he began to strike at Yuskue once again, who would respond in kind as he created a sword of his own. A sword he had seen in cartoons, something to get the job done. Unfortunately, between the two of them, he was not a skilled swordsman. The best he could do was block, parry every single strike, and Hiei found himself on the offensive. You might be able to make a sword, but you don't know how to use one. And that will be your undoing. Getting into a sword fight with me. How foolish are you? Quickly, he would find himself disarmed, the sword effectively knocked out of his hand, before being smacked by the hilt of his blade, and Yuskue was knocked back down onto the ground. Immediately, Hiei would go diving down for an assault, ready to pierce him to the earth with the shadow blade. But before he could finish the job, Yuskue would teleport, vanishing from that area. So he even has the power to vanish, Hiei said. No matter, he wouldn't have gotten far. He wouldn't dare leave his friends behind. At least, that's what I think. Then again, he is human after all. In the hour of truth, cowardice becomes king. Hiei slowly strolled back into the warehouse, slowly making his way towards Botan and Keiko. You've put up a better fight than I could have anticipated, assistant. Though how long can you hold out? How long before the girl falls under my spell? I'll hold out as long as it takes. You don't get to win here, Hiei. To win. Victory was mine the moment that you arrived here. I have all 3 artifacts in my possession. Your hero is nowhere to be seen. So what will you do? He'll be here. You can't beat him. Well, we'll see about that. Hiei would charge towards the two of them. At the last second, Yuskue would reveal himself, having used invisibility to hide. With a shoulder tackle, he would immediately slam into Hiei before raising his hand. Immediately using a construct, he would create bands of rope, wrapping it around Hiei and trying to hold him in place. But with his enhanced strength, instead, it was Yuskue who found himself being spent for a wheel, being turned around in the air with the rope before being slammed into boxes and crates. I knew that you would be waiting, detective. Attempting to land an ambush. Clever. But clever won't get you very far with me. You cannot overcome my power. My Jigan eye sees all. Yuskue would turn invisible again, attempting to hide around the large crates, moving around the warehouse like a labyrinth. With the power of my Jigan, all becomes visible. You may have become invisible now, but you'll have to show yourself again. And when you do, that's when I'll kill you. Damn, what am I gonna do? At this point, I don't know how much strength I have left. It's like he just keeps growing, it's insane. Hiei, stop this. Kurama. So, have you finally come to your senses? You have paraded this madness for too long. What is killing this human going to accomplish? Why would you even ask me something like that? You who would betray your own kind. We are demons, Kurama. No matter how much you try to change it, you might parade around in that body. You might cling to that wretched human you call a mother, but it does not change our nature. They are our enemies. You must turn away from this path. You will only bring yourself more pain. What would you know about pain? Hiei would strike at Kurama, striking the blade and piercing him directly in the stomach. It still hurts, doesn't it? This is what you've chosen? To take the form of a human? What? Do you think that it makes you more righteous? Different from anyone else? This path that I have chosen, it's one that I have chosen for myself. You're right. Humanity is flawed. Perhaps at times they are no better than us. And we are no better than them. What will you gain from all of this? What will destroying the world bring you? It will not fill the emptiness in your soul. That's for me to decide. If you choose to stand against me, then you can die here. I don't think so. Before he knew what hit him, there was another Yuskue standing right behind Hiei, made entirely of green. The constructed Yuskue, using both of his arms, would begin to launch a flurry of barrage strikes right at Hiei. You might have messed up one of my arms, Hiei, but then I can make anything. That means I can even make another me to kick your ass. The constructed Yuskue would launch a left hook right at Hiei, knocking him high into the air, while Yuskue would be waiting, hovering above as he pointed his finger right at him. I gotta put everything I have into this attack to bring you down. Now, Spirit Gun! With the fire of the emerald shot, the Spirit Gun would shoot right at Hiei. But even after that flurry of attack, he had enough strength to maneuver out of the way. Moving towards the right, the shot of the Spirit Gun would evade him. So that was your last ploy, Spirit Detective. To fire everything you had into one shot. And yet you still missed. Now, you're mine! But... How did you... Yuskue would grin as he pointed at the ground below. The forlorn hope. You ditched your items on the ground before the fight. I just had to make sure you were in the right position. I knew that even if I launched my Spirit Gun, you'd still have more strength to dodge the attack. So I just had to make sure that you'd be somewhere you couldn't dodge, because you wouldn't have expected to come back on you. So that's what you did. You used the forlorn hope to bounce back the attack. You even anticipated where I would land. Thanks, Kurama. Sorry about you getting stabbed like that. It's all right. Paying back a debt to an old friend. Botan had held out just enough. With the 3 artifacts back in their possession, the antidote from the Shadow Blade's hilt would be used to heal Keiko and all of the others under Hiei's control. And the case of the 3 stolen artifacts of darkness would be brought to a close. Excellent work as always, Sakio said, as he held the small computer chip in his hand. To think something so small could lead to something so devastating. Countries can be destroyed with a single push of a button. You have to marvel the modern age of technology, don't you? Regimes come and go. Doesn't really make a matter of difference to me how it's done. Bomb, computer chips, take your pick. I take it that you're not one for sentiment? Not particularly. I'm only in the matter of business. Yes, your payment will already be transferred to your account. You have nothing to worry about. With all due respect, Mr. Sakio, your money means absolutely nothing to me. Oh? And that's not from a place of judgment. How you make your living, I truly don't give a damn. But what I want, money can't buy. Well, forgive me. I just figured that given your reputation, what I gamble with, you can't find in a casino or with penny slots. I'm actually in the business of trying to gain something else. Something I know you can provide. Oh, really? And do tell, if what you're after is what I believe, why didn't you just take the objects for yourself? Because those are nothing more but trinkets and you know it. They're pocket change compared to what you've got brewing. And just what do you think that's brewing here? Power to change worlds. Whatever you plan to do, I'm not trying to get in your way. But you have resources, Mr. Sakio. Resources I would like to use. And what might that be for? Well, I figure a man of your status, you must be familiar with the concepts of miracles, aren't you? Miracles. They're nothing more but ideas in children's books. But let's say I could offer you a miracle. Just what sort of miracle are you trying to get your hands on? The kind of miracles that raise the dead. Oh, you want those type of miracles? I should caution you, playing around with life and death can have disastrous consequences. I wouldn't worry about that, sir. Consequences are nothing more but a gamble. And I gamble to win. I'll keep you in touch. And do not worry. I am a man that repays my debts. In time, perhaps I can give you the miracle that you are looking for. But meanwhile, I would like you to do one thing for me. Keep your eyes on this spirit detective, Yuskue Urameshi. I want to see what he will become, to see if he will be a threat to my organization. Am I to suspect that I am on retainer, sir? Sure. I could always use a man of your ability. The payroll will do nicely. As the old man left, Sakio would be left alone in his office, as a tall figure from the shadows would make his presence known. So, what do you think of him? Tagoro. He definitely has a strong aura, a powerful spiritual energy, though he is confined to that shell of a body. Perhaps if he were just 20 years younger, he might actually give me some excitement. But now, I feel nothing at all. Your assessment is truly something else. Do you think there's anyone who will ever satisfy you? Who knows? Perhaps not in this lifetime. What exactly does he have to offer? A chance to change the world, Tagoro. And with this little bundle of joy, Sakio said, holding on to the computer chip, we can now move to the next stage of the operation. Operation Mother Box. This concludes Yu Yu Hakusho Emerald Detective. What if Yuskue Urameshi was the Green Lantern? Season 1, Part 4. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. And stay tuned next time as we continue with Yu Yu Hakusho Emerald Detective. What if Yuskue Urameshi was the Green Lantern? Season 1, Part 5. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.